Storm clouds are coming, boys, and you better be ready. What is up, guys? This is Cobb, and there are some massive changes on the horizon coming to Raid Shadow Legends that you definitely want to prepare for in the coming weeks on your account. Faction Wars are getting hard mode, and this is going to be covering the best way that you can prepare for hard mode Faction Wars, or just clear regular Faction Wars. We've also got Phantom Shogun tournaments arriving at some point in the indiscernible future in Raid Shadow Legends. We're going to be covering what kind of champs you want to build out to be ready for those when they arrive. And we're going to be covering a very specific certain champion that you might want to build out pretty gosh darn soon, if you did go ahead and fuse him. Before all of that, if you're looking for a fresh start in Raid Shadow Legends, then remember that the best possible way that you can create a new account in Raid for the most immense start possible is by clicking on my beginner promo link, which is down below the top of the video description box. Simply click on that link, use it to sign up to Raid and create your new account, and you're going to get your hands on Elnoril as your free starter legendary champion, as well as a whole bunch of epics as you level up that account, man. It's the craziest start imaginable. Just beware. This promo link will be getting downgraded a little bit once the anniversary events in Raid come to an end, so time is limited. All you're going to do is complete the tutorial on your new account and Elnoril will show up on your new account's inbox. That's how you know that the promo link worked. Thing number one, Faction Wars. If you've not completed your normal Faction Wars yet, right, and you're a good amount into the game, you might want to step on the gas on this and make sure that you get it done. What exactly does getting Faction Wars done look like, at least normal mode Faction Wars? Well, of course, you want to have at least one AoE wave controller champion, right, like an AoE provoker or stun champion that can just help to control up the waves. A good AoE nuker is going to be great. And then usually at least one champion that can revive on your team. The other two roles can just be supporting damage dealers, buff champions, defensive buff champions, right, ally protectors, that kind of thing. And it should be a doddle, right? It's just more of like a time-limiting thing, really, more than anything, to get through normal Faction Wars. Now, why is it so important that you get through normal Faction Wars? Because, of course, hard mode Faction Wars are on the way in the not-too-distant future. And the reason those are going to be so good is because at the end of the hard mode Faction Wars reward track, you're going to be getting yourself a free mythical champion, as well as a boatload of free rewards along the way as you progress towards that free mythical champ. But you'll also be farming materials for a whole new set of relics that are specific to Faction Wars, right? Also like epic and legendary quality glyphs from these hard mode Faction Wars as well. So the rewards are going to be absolutely massive now for getting beyond normal mode Faction Wars and starting to farm up the hard modes. Now, if you're still super early game and you're just getting started in Raid, just know that Faction Wars aren't really something that you want to sort of drop everything to focus on, but they used to be like a very low priority task that you could kind of slow walk a little bit. You were very much focusing on progressing in other areas of the game. Just know that it's a little bit higher priority now. And certainly if you're in a situation where you've only got like 5 or 6 faction crypts or something left to actually fully max out and get all of the 63 stars in, definitely put your pedal to the metal. Another thing you definitely want to start doing, and I know people are gonna hate me for this, but like I'm just bringing you the most efficient way to get these things done, is, dude, even if you hate it, I know everybody hates it, right? What am I talking about? There's no if about it. Everybody hates live arena, okay? But when it comes to spending your live arena medals in your Great Hall, you might just want to go ahead and start spamming the crap out of these into Faction Wars, right? Faction Wars are just grade 1 nodes, meaning they're very cheap to spend your medals into. For example, if you use like this resistance node right here that I haven't put anything into as an example, it only costs 25 silver medals to get 1 rank in this resistance node, whereas if you scroll on down to like the higher grade nodes, something like Phantom Shoguns, it's instead going to cost 100 medals to start upgrading the same level node, right, which is 0. And so it's very easy to rank these up using live arena medals. The reason I'm bringing this up is because while we have no information about this, like behind the scenes, yet it's not impossible that when hard mode Faction Wars come out, Faction Wars might actually go up a grade to grade 2 or maybe grade 3 and become much harder to level up these nodes. And so long story short, I for one am going to start prioritizing the crap out of spending my live arena medals into area bonuses specific to Faction Wars. I've actually screwed up the spending of these just a little bit, by the way. For some reason I went into like a little bit of health and spread all of these out, blah blah blah. The two that you actually want to max out first, to be honest, are probably ignore defense and speed, are the two most valuable nodes that you can be ranking up. Accuracy might be helpful, depending on the champs that you're using, but certainly ignore defense and speed are two fantastically valuable nodes to be maxing up with your live arena keys. Should also mention as well that there's no correct or incorrect time to be spending your live arena medals into arena bonuses. Live arena medals have no correct or incorrect time to be spent. unlike classic arena medals, which these, of course, you should only ever be spending these during clan versus clan events for just free clan versus clan points. And bloody hell, I can't level these any further because I need to get gold in live arena. Oh god, I've got to stop being lazy about this. Even I'm just going to force myself to do it. Now, as well as prepping all kinds of revivers and AoE wave controllers and stuff for each faction, in Faction Wars, another thing that you probably want to start doing with your shard pulls and any champs that you pull from your shards is just store any old epics that you pull in your master vault. You might as well. As you can see here, this is something that I've started doing kind of recently, right? Just holding on to epics that I have no intention of building anytime soon, necessarily, but I'm holding on to them anyway, just in case I do decide to build them out. Why? Because when hard mode faction wars drop, okay, the bosses in these hard mode faction wars are going to have very, very specific conditions that you need to meet in order to get 3 stars on that faction war stage, which is crucially important for getting your free mythical champion. Some conditions that we know about are you have to land the killing blow against the boss on a champion that's under a veil buff. We don't know what faction that's for, right? But you literally will not be able to max out that specific faction's faction wars stages without having a veil buffer champion on your team. It won't be doable. There are some bosses, let's just take like the dwarves for example, where the boss might need to be under 10 debuffs when you kill the boss, otherwise the kill won't count as a 3-star kill, right? The bosses in these hard mode faction wars are going to have very specific conditions for you to max out that specific crypt. And so that's why just keep everything, hoard the crap out of basically every champion you can until these hard mode faction wars come out, right? Even epics that don't seem particularly like massive or account changing or super useful, you never know. They might just bring a certain debuff type or buff type or whatever that you need for that faction in order to finish that hard mode faction wars. Next up, Phantom Shogun's Grove and Phantom Shogun's tournaments, right? Right now we have Sand Devil's Necropolis tournaments. Nothing for Phantom Shogun, however, it has been heavily hinted, if not all but confirmed by Plarium behind the scenes, that Phantom Shogun's tournaments are on the way. We just have no idea when they are actually going to be arriving. Either which way, man, when it comes to all of the champion training events and stuff that are going on in the game, if you ever find time to max out champions to take on Phantom Shogun's Grove, just go ahead and do it. Get it done. Make sure that you've got your teams ready to be farming the higher stages of Phantom Shoguns for these tournaments. Some easy mode budget champions that you can max up are as follows. Reliquary Tender. Champion number 1, right? Rare Void Affinity Champion. Very, very good for this role because she's a very, very budget option champ that brings a 3-turn cooldown cleanse, right? Removing all debuffs from all allies. It's going to be very, very important, man, for your Phantom Shogun's Grove teams to bring along a cleanse champion with a 3-turn cooldown cleanse, and then they need to be running at like 280 speed almost exactly, I think. And then you basically never touch that champion ever again, never rebuild that champion ever again. That is your dedicated 3-turn cooldown cleanse champion to take into Phantom Shoguns, okay? So Reliquary Tender is a great budget option champion to do that because you can go ahead and build her out for Shoguns and then forget all about her and never have to touch her build ever again, and you won't miss her too much, you know? You're not going to feel tempted to tweak her build as if she was like a Mithrala or something. The next few champions that you can look to build out actually come in pairs of 2 and can be integral components to a Phantom Shogun's team. The most accessible couple of duo champs that I can think of to take on the Phantom Shogun and its mechanics. One partnership combo is Paragon and Nalhorn, and the other champion combination is going to be Renegade and Mithrala. Without going into crazy details as to how the boss's mechanics work, basically the Nalhorn and the Nalhorn Paragon combo, the Nalhorn is going to be the highest crit damage champion on your team, and you're going to build him out with about 60,000 health, and he's going to be the tank, right, the enfeeble tank against the Phantom Shogun's boss. Then it's going to be Paragon's job to ensure that the Nalhorn never dies by spamming the crap out of his unkillable buff on the Nalhorn on a 2-turn cooldown, and that's how that little combination will work against the boss and just buy you infinity time to get the boss dead. That's Nalhorn and Paragon combo. Next most accessible is going to be the Renegade Mithrala combo, and Renegade is going to be built with, again, like 70,000 health in a regeneration set if needs be to help keep her alive. Once more, she's going to be built out with the highest crit damage stat on your team so that she always gets the attacks from the boss, and she can also help out your team with speeding up the kill a little bit by decreasing the cooldown of all ally skills by 2 turns. with that A3. Then as long as your Renegade is in that regeneration set and she's able to stay alive, well, she should be able to stay alive with a Mithrala on the team, who's also going to be buffering up with strengthen and shield buffs. And so, yeah, the two combo together really, really nicely. The Mithrala is going to do a hell of a lot for keeping your Renegade alive and just buying your team, again, infinity time to get the boss dead. And so if you've got any of those champions already built out on your account, keep them in mind for Phantom Shoguns, and if you don't have any of those champions built out on your account just yet, keep them in mind for the next champion training event, or maybe a champion training event a few weeks down the line, to get them maxed up and ready to rock and roll for Shoguns, because who the hell knows when those tournaments will eventually drop, right? Final thing that you want to be prepared for, man, is, dude, if you've been like me, okay, and you've been, and you've fused, I think it's like over 7 months ago now, where the Packmaster Shayak fusion went down. I think it was in July last year, and you fused Packmaster Shayak, you'll know that we've been waiting a hell of a long time for any Hound champion to be added to the game that's actually a good Hound champion that can combo with Packmaster Shayak. He brings an ally attack alongside Hound champions on his A1, which is great. He brings a protected taunt and reflected damage buff on himself with his A2, if he has a Hound champion on the team. And then he brings an unresistible 100% land rate, block, buffs, debuff on all enemies for 2 turns, if he's got a Hound champion on the team. Problem is, all of the Hound champions have sucked massively. However, Plarium massively, heavily teased in the recent like what's next for Raid Shadow Legends video that went up on their channel, that the Hound champion is finally on the horizon. It might be next month's fusion, it might be a couple months from now, who the hell knows. Either way, I, as you can see, have taken my Houndmaster, my Packmaster rather, up to 6 stars, and I'm currently farming up his masteries and his levels, getting him all the way up to level 60, so that he's finally ready to maybe use at a team somewhere, maybe in Hydra, you know, alongside the new Hound champion. So if you've got your Packmaster sitting around, finally the time has come to actually build him out. And our man, right on cue, the live arena just opened and I've got some work to do. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all did enjoy this one, and I hope that it helped to prepare you for the weeks and months to come in Raid Shadow Legends, man. So thanks for stopping by. Please enjoy the rest of your night. Remember, if you're looking to create a new Raid Shadow Legends account, that My Beginner promo link, which is always down below in the description box, is the best possible link that you can click on in order to get that done, man. Creating a new account with a free starter legendary Elnaril, as well as a whole bunch of epic champions as you level up your account, man. Hey, thanks for watching. Have a good one, and I'm going to catch all of you all just a tad bit later, man.